When my son placed that one-way train ticket in my hand, I didn't cry. I didn't argue. I simply smiled. It was a small, tight smile, one that held back an ocean of words I knew I could never say. For 10 years, I had built my world around their little family. I had memorized every creak in the floorboards of their house, every sunbeam that fell on the kitchen table in the afternoon. I thought I was the roots, holding the tree steady. But that day, I realized I was just a leaf, waiting for a gentle breeze to carry me away. And that breeze had finally come. My name is Arthur. For 68 years, that's who I've been. A husband for 45 of those wonderful years to my dear Eleanor. After she passed, the world became very quiet, and my small apartment felt far too big for just one person. So when my son, David, and his wife, Chloe, asked me to move in with them after their little girl was born, it felt like a gift, a second chance. Lily, my granddaughter, was the light of my life from the moment I first held her. I remember her tiny hand wrapping around my finger, so small and perfect. I moved into their spare room, promising myself I would be helpful, not a burden. I found my new purpose in the simple rhythms of their lives. I learned how to prepare a bottle with just the right warmth. I became an expert at reading bedtime stories, giving all the characters different silly voices that made Lily giggle. In the beginning, it was perfect. Chloe would come home from work, tired, and I'd have a warm meal waiting. David and I would watch football on weekends just like we used to. I fixed leaky taps and weeded the garden. I felt useful, needed. I watched Lily take her first steps in that very living room. I was there to catch her. For those first few years, I truly believed I was part of the foundation of their home. The real turning point happened on a Tuesday. It was an ordinary day, which is how these things usually happen. I had gone to the market wanting to do something nice. I saw these beautiful, ripe peaches. They were Chloe's favorite. I bought a whole basket, thinking I could make her a pie, like my Eleanor used to make. I spent the whole afternoon in the kitchen. The flour, the butter, the sweet smell of peaches and cinnamon filling the house. It felt good. It felt like I was contributing something beautiful again. When the pie came out of the oven, golden and bubbling, I felt the pride I hadn't felt in years. Chloe and David came home together. I was so excited to show them. "Look what I made," I said, my voice probably sounding a little too eager. "A peach pie, fresh from the market." Chloe looked at the pie. Then she looked at the flour still dusted on the counter. She looked at the mixing bowls in the sink. Her smile was strained. "Arthur, that's so much sugar. And Lily has a dentist appointment tomorrow. We're really trying to be mindful of what we eat." It was like all the air had been sucked out of the room. David just stood there, silent, looking at his feet. "It's just one pie," I said softly, my voice barely a whisper. "It's not just the pie, Arthur," Chloe said, and her voice was tired, so tired. It's everything. We appreciate your help, we do, but this is our home. We need to live our way." Our home. Those two words hung in the air between us. I finally understood. It was their home. It had never become mine. That night I heard them arguing in their room. Their voices were low, but the walls are thin. I couldn't make out all the words, but I heard my name. "My dad," David said, his voice trailing off. And then I heard Chloe, clear as day. "David, we need our space. We need our own family life."
There was a long silence, and then my son, my little boy, said the words that broke my heart. "I know. You're right." The next morning, David came to me at the breakfast table. Lily had already left for school. Chloe was nowhere to be seen. He held a piece of paper. "Dad, I thought you might like to visit your sister for a while. Margaret said she'd love to have you." He placed the train ticket on the table between us. It was for a city 300 miles away. A one-way ticket.
I looked at the ticket. I looked at my son's face, full of guilt and shame, and in that moment, all the fight left me. What was there to fight for? To stay where I wasn't truly wanted? To force my presence and make everyone, including myself, more miserable? So I did the only thing I had left. I picked up the ticket, I looked at him, and I gave him that small, tight smile. "Thank you, David," I said. "That's a wonderful idea." The days that followed were a quiet blur. I packed my things. I didn't have much. I gave Lily an extra long hug before she went to school, breathing in the smell of her strawberry shampoo. She had no idea I wouldn't be there when she got back. On the day I left, the house was silent. Chloe helped me carry my suitcase to the door. "Thank you for everything, Arthur," she said, and I think she genuinely meant it. David drove me to the station. The car ride was filled with the heavy silence. He kept trying to talk, to explain. "It's just for a while, Dad. We just need—" I placed the hand on his arm. "It's okay, son. I understand." And in a way I did. I saw the life they wanted, a modern, tidy life, just the three of them. I was a relic from a different time, a reminder of a past that didn't fit into their future. He stood on the platform as my train pulled away. I looked out the window and watched him grow smaller and smaller until he disappeared. I didn't cry. I just watched the world go by, the fields and houses rushing past, each one holding its own stories of love and loss.
I've been living with my sister, Margaret, for 6 months now. Her house is smaller, quieter, but it is a home where I am welcome. We sit in the evenings and talk about our childhood, about Eleanor, about things that nobody else remembers. There is a peace here that I had forgotten. David calls every Sunday. The conversations are a little stiff, but they are trying. Lily came to stay for a week in the summer. We baked cookies, and I told her all the stories about my father, the carpenter. She listened with wide, interested eyes. I thought my story was about being left behind, but now I see it's about understanding my place in the story. A parent's love is supposed to be a launch pad, not an anchor. We give our children roots, and then we must give them the sky, even if that sky doesn't include us in the way we hoped. The love never changes. It never fades. But sometimes love means knowing when to hold on, and sometimes it means having the strength to smile, to let go, and to find a new silence for yourself, a peaceful one. My heart still aches sometimes, but it is no longer breaking. It is simply learning a new, quieter way to beat.